I remember when I was younger, me and my little brother, we had a Nintendo. And, I mean, even late into our teens, so about time I was about maybe 14 or so, we had Nintendo. And I had a friend who had a Sega. Like everybody else had Sega, Super Nintendo, and everything. And he had a Sega. And used to love going over his house playing Sega, playing Madden. Because it was nice. Like that was nice. Like anybody who's old enough to remember Nintendo and Sega, then you're like, yo, Sega's a lot nicer than the Nintendo. What that leads me to is to talk to lead into interracialism. Why do people want to swirl? Why do people want to, interracially date? And the point is, it's a lot of nice stuff over there. Like if you've been in a white neighborhood or lived in one or worked in one, you realize that it's a lot of nice stuff over there. Like they have nice parks, they have nice neighborhoods. Like if you've been in a mostly predominantly white neighborhood, you see people going out and jogging at like 9, 10 o'clock at night, at like 1 o'clock in the morning, just not running, just jogging, and you're like, wow, okay, I guess that's normal around here to see somebody jogging at like 1 o'clock in the morning because you're supposed to be able to do that in that neighborhood at 1 o'clock in the morning. But then you go over back to Blackistan and it's like, yeah, you don't even want to walk out your door at 1 o'clock in the morning. You barely want to walk in. Like as soon as it gets dim, it's like, yo, let me walk in, lock up everything. And I understand, and women like nice stuff, and I understand you wanting to go over to that side and, go on the nice trips and, live in a nice house and, do nice things and get nice clothes and stuff, but that really takes building. Like that really takes black men and black women getting together to do something. And it's sort of like with quality black men and quality black women, they could get with everybody else but each other, and then it becomes rocket science. Like, how do you get a quality black man and a quality black woman together? And it's like, I have absolutely no idea. Like nobody knows. It's like, how does she end up with Pookie? How does he end up with Bushikwa? Or how does he end up with some hoe? Or how does he end up with some white woman? Or how does she end up with some white guy? Oh, easy. We could go up and down how that happens. That happens easy. Like that's tic-tac-toe. And then you saying, well, how do they get together? And it's like, are you trying to get from here to Mars? Like, we need to start with Rocket 101 with that one. And it's like, gotta be some way to make people understand that all that nice stuff that you go over there, like, none of that's instant. Like, that's decades. Like, the suburbs is decades of building. Like, people forget that there was a government program and government programs that helped build the suburbs for white people. Like, black people never got there. Like, we were on the outside of that. And that's why I keep on telling everybody who constantly saying that, oh, y'all need to stop begging, or we need to stop begging, and we need to put in the hard work. And it's like, do you know that a lot of this stuff was made to separate white people from black people economically? And we didn't get any of this. Like, they didn't get there. Like, the suburbs don't exist because white people, they simply put in the work. The suburbs exist because they had white people who decided, hey, look, we need to make sure that white people stay separated from black people, and white economics stay separated from black economics. So we're gonna build a suburban neighborhood. Like, the suburbs never existed, and then they made them for that purpose. So when they say that, you're really saying You're being disingenuous. I mean, and that didn't get there. Like, those neighborhoods didn't just get there overnight. Like, those neighborhoods aren't new. Like, they've been there, and they've been falsely built by white society against black society. So you have to you have to be able to allow black people to build those neighborhoods and build those things before you say that, well, black people don't have them. And like I said, I understand it's like instant nice. And it's like, it's great being in an environment where you can be instant nice. Like, you can just go over there and all of a sudden it's like niceties and just sweet, sweet breeze over there like all the time. And you're like, well, why don't I get over there? But the thing about it is, well, like, Kristen Carazon jumps the ship, and some women, very small percentage of swirlers, jump the ship to that suburban level. Man, not many of them going over there and jumping the fence and landing like those guys. Like, they're telling you that. Like, Kristen Carazon is telling everybody, like, she's the expert on how to meet these successful suburban living white men. And it's like, man, most of what you're talking about is luck. I mean, Tamara Hall is like, how many times more of what Kristen Carazon is talking about being, and like she hasn't gotten her white husband. Like, she's dated some white guys, but nobody's put a ring on it. Like, it's mostly just luck. Like, all that they do is like, hey, look, we're more appealing to white guys, and then it's just really like 90% just luck. Like, they could end up going from being like married and living in the suburbs to, you know, just being a cum rag for like white guys and feeling like all types of used. Like, that's them. Like, they're not that, you know. But I understand where it's, you're over there and you want to hit the nice stuff, and I get that. And I think a lot of black men really get that, but it's not like, you know, once you say that, hey, look, I don't have that nice stuff. Like, I don't have that black suburbs. Like, really, I don't. None of us actually have that black suburb. We have some black nice neighborhoods. We do have some black nice neighborhoods, but we don't have really that black suburban, that black middle class. You know, we don't have those black, real black things. Like, we try to do things as black people to make it feel like we got a hold of what, you know, being classy and things are. Like, you got, like, people try to copy Oprah's white party. Like, we do things like that, like, you know, like First Friday or like First Sunday. Like, we try to do things like that to make us, you know, make it feel like, hey, look, we're not just this, you know, we're not just this thuggery, poor, blow, desperate, broken-hearted people. But you also gotta understand, like, sometimes it's just best to say that, yeah, man, we're broke and we don't have, you know, we don't have suburbs. We don't have suburbs, and that's fine. But okay, let's build them, because we don't have them. But in like many black men's eyes, we look up and we say, well, I don't want, you know, I don't have that. And then you got some Kristen Carazon disciple who was like, and that's exactly right, y'all ain't shit. And I'm like, well, you don't you want him to acknowledge that he doesn't have that so that he can go out there and get that? And they're like, no. They're ready to just blast some black guy, some black man, and be like, yep, white man have this, and that's why we're over there. Right up until they realize that, oh, wait a minute, my time as a bear wench is over with. But then you're like, you have these women. It's like, what do you expect when you have women running around to Pookie and Ray Ray, to White Mike and David, and that's like where we're gonna play off in. Like, that's where 80% of us are, 90% of us are gonna play off in all the time, routinely, and swap in and out. Like, the suburbs get built because of need by family. Like, if these men who can and will build, you know, the suburbs, they're not going to go out there and build the black suburbs and be like, well, we're going to sit out here and wait until y'all get tired of Pookie and White Mike. and we'll be here, and then it's like, but then y'all turn up and you're like, oh well, where are the suburbs? What did you build for us? And it's like, who in the world builds anything? Because like you're sleeping around with White Mike and Pookie and having kids and doing all of that stuff, and then you're like, well, in case all of that fails and we're done with that, then y'all need to have gone out and just build the suburbs. Like, no, like nobody's gonna be sitting in like 5-bedroom houses waiting on women to show up one day. Like, you build that 5-bedroom house because you and your wife have like 3-4 kids. And you build up your career and everything. Like, you learn the thing of building up your career. It's like, it becomes secondary. Like, wow. Like, really? Like, some of y'all women, really? You thought that you were going to get Pookie to get you into the suburbs? And you really thought that, like, White Mike was going to bring you to the suburbs? Like, yeah, you end up with, like a few black women who are successful in jumping the ship. In that manner, but yo, it's so small that like they're selling you on it as experts, and when they're not experts, like all of it is like 90% luck. Like, they could end up with somebody that's a 6-figure suburban man. Like, where do you see them dating the guy who's the white guy who's working at like Burger King, and all of a sudden like they're with them and they're loving them, and then the guy ends up making like 6 figures a year. He ends up making like 150. He builds up. Like, no, like they women who tend to get guys like that, they meet them out there like that. Like, they don't meet like the slacker who ends up going to become a lawyer or a doctor or some professional, an accountant or something. Like, that guy who's a slacker, and I see it all the time. Like, they meet that white guy that's a slacker, like he's a slacker for the rest of their lives. And like, I know a woman who's dating like a slacker. She's dating a non-black slacker. And she's like frustrated because what she thought she was going to get, she thought she was going to get one of these Latin guys that was going to be, I'm, dating, he's going to work like 3 jobs and do all that, Latino imagery, that Mexican imagery. And he's like, nope, he got like 1 job. And she's like, why aren't you doing more? And it's like, well, that's what you got. Like, you think that you're going to get him to do more. Like, no, like, you get the guys, like, nobody's going to build up for black women to come in. Like, no, he's not going to build up anything for, like, no, it's like, that's what you go and get it. That's why black society becomes the dumpster pile for everybody and for everybody to come into and send like you're a slacker, man. You need to go over there and date black women.